The Imperial Chronicle of the Celestian Dominion often mocked humans, primitive, emotional, reckless. These were the words repeated across 1,000 star systems. Even Empress Althea, ruler of the galaxy's largest empire, laughed whenever the myths of human warriors were mentioned until the day she met Jack. It began with a disturbance along the border set as a rogue world, refusing to bend to the Dominion. The Empress, who rarely traveled beyond her crystalline throne world, decided to witness the discipline of her legions firsthand. Her flagship, the Starlit Vow, shimmered with royal colors as it descended into orbit. Humans were supposed to be insignificant, yet she sensed something different the moment. She saw the captured warrior being escorted into her audience chamber. His name was Jack, a simple human, dressed in torn planetary armor, dust smeared across his jawline. He should have been trembling before her, everyone did. Instead, he stood tall, shoulders squared, eyes steady as cold iron. Sarah, his second-in-command, had been captured with him, though her smaller frame bore more injuries. She leaned heavily on one side, breathing hard, but her sharp gaze never left Jack as if drawing courage from him alone. The Empress studied them with mild curiosity. So she said, reclining lazily in her floating obsidian throne, "These are the legendary humans the frontier clans whisper about." Jack didn't bow, didn't kneel, didn't even lower his eyes. He simply said, "Your soldiers attacked civilians. I defended them. If that makes me a legend, then your galaxy sets the bar too low." The entire chamber froze. Guards lifted weapons. Ministers inhaled sharply. But Empress Althea laughed, not a mocking laugh, an intrigued one. "Bold," she murmured, "but foolish. You stand before the most powerful being in the Dominion." Jack shrugged. "Power doesn't impress me. Character does." That was the first crack in her certainty, the first breach in her understanding of humans. Over the next several days, Jack and Sarah were interrogated, but neither broke. Sarah endured quietly, fierce and protective. Jack met each question with unnerving calm. The Empress found herself requesting updates on them far too often. She justified it as strategic curiosity. Her advisors exchanged uneasy glances. On the fourth day, she summoned Jack alone. He was brought before her without restraints. This time, a decision she had made without fully understanding why. "You fight unlike any species I've seen," she said. "Where does your strength come from? Your technology is primitive, your bodies are weaker, yet you resist." Jack's answer was simple. Humans fight for each other, not for empire, not for glory. His gaze flicked briefly to the doorway as if sensing Sarah somewhere beyond it. "Especially," he added, "for those they can't afford to lose." For the first time in centuries, the Empress felt something stir inside her chest. Interest, respect, curiosity, something dangerous. "Would you demonstrate this strength?" she asked. Jack nodded. But the demonstration did not go as she expected. When she ordered a Dominion champion to enter the arena, Saranjad, limping, forced her way inside. "You won't fight alone," she told Jack. He shot her a look, half exasperation, half admiration. The Empress watched, spellbound, as two humans fought side by side. Their movements were raw but precise, lacking the elegance of Dominion combat arts, but burning with something fiercer. When Sarah faltered, Jack covered her flank. When Jack stumbled, Sarah struck back with ferocity that made the champion retreat. It wasn't their strength that startled the Empress. It was their devotion to one another, their refusal to abandon each other even in hopeless odds. Humans, the species she mocked, fought as if love itself was armored. When the champion fell, gasping, the Empress rose to her feet, a quiet thrill racing through her. "So this," she whispered, "is the myth." That night, she summoned Jack again, but privately. No guards, no ministers, no throne. She met him in the observatory, where the stars spilled across the glass like silver fire. "You confuse me," she admitted. Jack raised an eyebrow. Not the reaction I expected from a galactic empress. She smiled, a small, genuine smile she rarely allowed anyone to see. "You humans inspire loyalty not through force, but through connection, empathy. Have I been ruling incorrectly all this time?" Jack didn't hesitate. "Yes," the Empress blinked. Jack continued, "Fear may keep people obedient, but respect keeps them devoted." No one had ever spoken to her like this. No one had ever dared. She stepped closer. "And you," she said softly, "fear nothing." Jack's jaw tightened. "I fear losing the people I care about." There it was, again, that spark, that honesty, that infuriating human sincerity. "Especially Sarah?" she asked. Jack hesitated. "She is family to me, a fighter, someone I'd die for." The Empress exhaled slowly. For the first time, she wished she had someone who would speak of her that way. The crisis came abruptly. A rebel fleet launched a surprise attack on the starlit Vow, seeking to assassinate the Empress. Explosions rocked the ship. Alarms wailed. Amid the chaos, Jack and Sarah broke free not to escape, but to help. When soldiers tried to evacuate the Empress, she found Jack standing in her path. "Your Majesty," he said firmly, "with all due respect, your guards can't hold this corridor, but I can." She stared at him. "You would protect me." Jack met her gaze without flinching. "Humans don't leave people behind." Sarah appeared beside him, bruised but blazing with determination, especially stubborn empresses who think they're invincible. For the first time in her life, Empress Althea felt safe, not because of her authority, not because of her power, but because to humans, to warriors she had once mocked, stood prepared to die for her together. The three fought through collapsing decks and firelit corridors. Jack's strength, Sarah's precision, and the Empress's deadly psionics made them an unstoppable force. When the last rebel fell, the Empress found herself leaning against Jack's shoulder, breathless. "You humans," she whispered, "are nothing like the myths." Jack smiled faintly. "Myths exaggerate. We just survive." "No," she said softly. "You love. That is your true power." Her hand brushed his dot. He didn't pull away. The aftermath changed the Dominion forever. The Empress ordered reforms. She restructured the ranks, and she kept Jack and Sarah by her side, not as prisoners, but as advisors. Whispers spread through the palace. The Empress had fallen for the human warrior. Maybe it was true. Maybe it was destiny. Maybe it was the first step of a new legend. All the Empress knew was this. She no longer laughed at the myths of humans, because she had fallen in love with one.